9 times out of 10, when I want to play a video game, my first reach is for the Steam Deck. It's an absolutely fantastic device, and there are a ton of reasons why. In today's video, I want to talk about the top 5 reasons why I think the Steam Deck is one of the greatest systems ever. But before we get to my reasons, do me a favor, pause the video, and down below, leave your top 5 reasons why you think that the Steam Deck is awesome. All right, I'm gonna let you pause the video, type that, and then we'll come back. Okay, let's start off with portability. This thing is fantastic because you can take it with you wherever you want to go. That means you're not going to be chained to your desk if you're used to PC gaming, and you're not stuck at a TV if you are used to console gaming. You could take it wherever. One of my favorite things to do is whenever my wife is in the kitchen making dinner or something, I like to just grab my Steam Deck, head on down there, sit at the kitchen table, and play a mindless game like Vampire Survivors or something that doesn't really require all of my attention, so that we can just chat while she's taking care of what she wants to do and I can do what I want to do at the same time. You can't do that when you're talking about a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC, because those things have you trapped where they are. And because it's a portable system, you can also take it with you whenever you leave the house. So whenever you're out and about in the world, you have access to your entire Steam library, which is amazing. Just make sure that you're careful out there. I'm sure that you've probably experienced this where you're out and about and your phone doesn't quite have a good enough connection. You're trying to do something online and it's painfully slow. And we've all been tempted to join that public Wi-Fi. Well, a lot of times, those are not set up by the place that you're in. They're set up by some jerk with a laptop who's trying to steal your information. You can protect your information by using Surfshark, the sponsor for today's video. Surfshark helps you keep your data private by encrypting absolutely everything that you send over the internet. And when you're ready to go on your vacation and you want to take your Steam Deck with you, make sure that you turn on Surfshark in order to book your flights, because you might actually be able to get your prices cheaper that way. Surfshark has unlimited devices. It's available on PC, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, pretty much everything, and it has 24/7 support. They also have a strict no logs policy, which means that they never collect your data no matter what. Purchasing a 24-month VPN plan is seriously one of the best options you can find right now. Surfshark has a great offer, 3 months extra and 83% off. Just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description and use my promo code NerdNest at checkout. Just try it out yourself, and if you find a better VPN solution with 24/7 support, then Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee. Let's talk about the library. The Steam library has to be the biggest collection of video games anywhere. And while not all of them are going to work on the Steam Deck, for the most part, thanks to Proton, most of them just do. There are, of course, some exceptions, be it games that have anti-cheat or DRM or launchers that get in the way, and Proton hasn't quite found a way around those things yet. But those are few and far between. I did a whole video about launchers and why they're terrible, and there's a link to it in the description down below, so make sure that you guys check that out. But the Steam library is massive, and it is incredibly varied. You can find like giant AAA games like Elden Ring, which plays really, really well on the Steam Deck, and you can find the newest, weirdest indie games that aren't available on any other platform. In fact, most of the time, indie games come to Steam first because it's the easiest platform to get your game on. And there's been plenty of games that I have seen in Nintendo Directs or Nintendo Indie Showcases where they're showing off these games, and almost every game that they show off has already been on Steam for a while now. Steam is the place. If you want to get access to nearly every game, that's where you want to go. I mean, recently Microsoft and Sony have both started bringing their games to Steam. Ubisoft decided that they were going to step away from their own launcher and bring their games to Steam. EA games are on Steam. Pretty much everybody, with the exception of like Epic and Nintendo, are bringing their games to Steam. So if you want access to most of the games, then the Steam Deck is a really great way to go, because the Steam Deck takes that library and puts it in a very easy to use console-like device that you can take wherever you want. Next up is Steam Input. Steam Input is fantastic. It is one of my favorite things about Valve. And for those of you that don't know, when the Steam Deck first got announced, that was the reason that I was so excited. They showed off the trackpads, and I loved the Steam controller, and I loved Steam Input because it gave me, the end user, the power to make my games play the way that I want them to play. And so as soon as I saw those trackpads on the Steam Deck, I knew that we were going to be having access to Steam Input, and that means so much power for us. Just in case you don't know what Steam Input is, it basically allows you to completely remap the entire controller, any joystick, any trackpad, any button, and do almost whatever you want with it. One of my favorite things to do is to bind the back buttons to be my reload and jump buttons on the right hand side so that I never have to take my thumb off the right stick. Another thing that I absolutely love to do when I'm playing games that have lots and lots of inputs, maybe they were made with a keyboard in mind, is I like to make little virtual menus that I can access using the trackpads so that I can play games that otherwise would be unplayable with a controller. I know there's a lot of people out there that are hardcore mouse and keyboard fanatics, and that's totally fine, but for me, a controller is almost always going to be the way that I prefer to play a game, even if that's not the best way, and the Steam Deck and Steam Input lets me do it the way that I want. Next up is retro gaming. I love playing old games. I love the nostalgia of playing the games that came out when I was a kid, and having those wherever I go is fantastic. And the Steam Deck makes retro gaming really, really easy. You can download RetroArch from the Steam store, but what I actually recommend that you do instead is check out EmuDeck. I've got a video about how to use EmuDeck linked down below, but EmuDeck basically allows you to install all of the things with like 4 clicks, I think it is, and then all you got to do is drop your ROMs in the right folder and you are off to the races. There's no other device that I've ever used that has made retro gaming as simple and fluid as the Steam Deck. Now, when I first saw the Steam Deck, and when a lot of people first looked at it, they said, holy cow, that thing is massive. There's no way that that's going to be comfortable to use, but Valve absolutely nailed it. They went for the comfort before everything else, and I think that that's a really, really good decision. There's a really interesting video, I'll link in the description, where Valve goes through and they talk about how they developed the Steam Deck and how they figured out exactly how big the trackpads needed to be and exactly where the buttons needed to be in order to make it comfortable for the greatest number of users. Now, when I first got the Wii U, the thing that I loved most about it was that it had the sticks at the top, and it was incredibly comfortable to play like that. So when I saw that the 2 sticks on the Steam Deck were not offset, not down, but at the top, it made the most sense because it allows you to really have that pressure at the top of the device, which balances it extremely well. And that's the thing about the Steam Deck. It is incredibly well balanced, and the layout is I have no notes on the layout. I don't think that there's anything about the layout of the Steam Deck that I would change, with the exception of the Steam button and the quick access menu. I just wish that those were a little bit clickier and easier to find with your thumbs. But with those exceptions, 2 buttons that you almost never have to press during gameplay, there's nothing that I would change. It is the most comfortable gaming device, full stop. But at the end of the day, I think that pretty much everybody's going to have a different set of top 5 reasons why the Steam Deck is awesome. Valve absolutely made a device that appeals to a wide range of people for a whole bunch of different reasons. In fact, I'm curious what reasons you guys are going to come up with in the comments that I never thought of. Anyway, from the Nerd Nest, I'm Bill. Stay rad, everybody, and stay safe with Surfshark.